Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to PlateUp. I'm going to be doing a nice little burger run today. It's just a random map. I typed in nickel, N-I-C-K-L-E. I know nickel is spelled with an E-L, I believe, but that's not the point. I was just typing in random things. I wanted to get a diner map like this that seemed to make sense to me, and this one does. Like I said, I've never played it. As some of you know from other videos, there's some runs I do that are seeded. It's typically my franchise runs. Otherwise, I just do. I don't do seed runs. I do a seed, but it's not one that's known. It's just a random typing of something. So I'm going to be trying to do a bit of a walkthrough with this, like a how to, and how I do burgers. And basically, this is how I set up my burgers. I don't use two of the starter hobs. You don't need it with burgers. They cook fast enough. You don't need two hobs. It there's no. I don't find any point to it. Because basically, I'll grab the burger, put it here, grab this, go back. This is actually over one more than I typically have it here, the hob. But we'll try it here to see how this works. And we'll begin. I have the buns down here. This is how I typically set up my diner style maps, regardless of what I'm doing. And if I get more tables, I'll put one down here and I'll put one up here. And that's basically how I'll run 3 tables. But let's get started. Do a little ringing. We only have 5 customers. Burgers are pretty simple. The biggest issue with the starter hob, of course, is the mess. That's the biggest issue you have with the starter hob is the mess. Looks like we all have almost all individual dining here, which is perfectly fine, really. And so you saw there, I actually took a little bit of a pause from actually putting in, from washing the dish, because I wanted to tap this as much as possible. We should have one more because it was 5 people. Since you have one more, we don't need to have another plate. We could just do something like this, and I mean, you can run down here as long as so you can highlight the table to serve, or if you're highlighting like the person or standing behind the person, like I can stand here, and even as long as you're touching the person, like you could stand over here, you're not, right? But as long as you're technically in the vicinity of the person, the table will light up, and you could just tap the back of them, and you could serve that way as well. You don't have to serve like onto the table, so to speak. All right, I'm going to come down here because I like having the envelopes spawn inside the restaurant, at least in the beginning. We can organize a little bit here. Now, I don't have any real plans for the run as far as automation. Now, burgers are one of the easy, like that conveyor on day one. Now, give us a research desk. Ooh, so the thing is here, the issue is that we can't afford the research desk. Now, what a lot of people do, and this is, again, your choice, is they'll save this in here in hopes to get another one. But the conveyor belt, to me, is almost too good to pass up, but it's day one, right? So I think we're going to do that strategy. I'm not going to buy any more plates because I only have one table anyway. I only have the starter sink. There's no point. So we're going to save this one till next round. But as you see already, we're up to 8 customers. So it ramps up very quickly, burgers. Same thing with hot dogs, which is what makes it quite difficult at times. I could have maybe bought another dining room table because I only have one. But with burgers, if you have in these double orders like this, it really makes I'm actually out of plates. There we go. It makes it go pretty quick. If that one's conserved ready, and you can take breaks in between washing. Now the timers will go down, but you can it's still very manageable to do so. Now, when you're cooking with burgers, you are, oops, I can actually, sorry, that can actually stay there. I was trying to get the dishes done. Another tip, I guess, would be if you put something onto a hob that can't be cooked, like a combined dish, it won't burn. Even if I stuck a regular plate there, it wouldn't burn. So we have 2 more people coming in, have to do one burning dish, or one clean dish. Now, the thing with the starter hob is it cooks quickly, but you can wash a dirty dish in the starter sink in the amount of time it takes to cook one hamburger. And that's the end of the day. We had 8 customers, we had a few singles, and we had a couple doubles. Now, let's see what our luck is, actually. That's kind of be the biggest thing here, is see what type of luck we have. With drops, that is. All right. So we did not get anything really that's worth buying. Now, you may say upgrade a hob to a safety hob. Yes, but we're not automating anything yet. Now, in hindsight, should I have saved that conveyor? I don't know, because I couldn't. So here's where it's tricky, right? Do you upgrade this, or do you buy this now? We can afford it. It's only 60 coins. And then upgrade one of these. Plates we don't really need. Table would be good if we have a table that gives us more money. A metal table where the one where they sit across from each other would not be that good here because of the way the layout is. Safety hob would be always good because the safety hob cooks at 0.75 speed. So does the starter hob, but the starter hob makes more mess than the safety hob. So ordering terminal is pointless for us. In counters, we don't need a chopping station because we have nothing that needs to be chopped. Now, if we get cheese or something like that, well, then of course, but I tend to lean towards customer cards here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to chance it one more time. Again, you could re-roll for 10 coins, but I'm going to chance it one more time just to see what card we get. Because you may end up getting a bad card or a card that's not, a card that's not the nicest. And again, as long as you see that, you can have something in your hand and you can still take someone's order, which I like to do sometimes, just for time-saving purposes. I can go there, and again here, they're going to take their order, boom, tap it like that, put it back. And I'm going to ring a couple more. Oop. Now, these are double order here, so I'm actually going to get a burger on, because I'll be able to serve these guys like that. Should be able to wash this in time. And here, you can grab a burger like that. It doesn't have to be bunned, if you will. Get this washed here. I think we only have a couple more people. Take their order, get a burger on, and then it's basically a rinse and repeat cycle for burgers at least. It's very quick. That's what makes burgers interesting, I guess you could say. It's a very quick turnaround. And I think we have one more customer who is outside right now, which we can do something like that. And this should be the last one of the day. Make sure the phone's done. All right. So we're now up to 111, but we will get more than that with the player count bonus. It should be exactly 120, which is great because, well, we don't have enough. We're not going to get drops here. So, this is tricky because onion rings reduce customers, but 15%. So that'll basically knock it down 1.5 people. Now, later on, it might knock it down 3 or 4 people, but what's 3 or 4 people, really? I'm going to go high expectations because I haven't really had issues with patience. I may end up buying another table. Let's just see what drops we get today. This one, what is that? Oh, look at that, research desk. So, now as long as it doesn't give us some sort of automation, we'll be okay here. So, we actually lucked out here because we waited and we got another research desk. Now, this is not guaranteed. You are not guaranteed to get a research desk like this anymore. Like, you're not guaranteed to get one on day one. Like, it doesn't, we didn't get a table though. That would be helpful. Because before, the way it worked is that you were guaranteed, I shouldn't have done that, you're guaranteed to get a research desk until you bought one. So you could always get 2 by the end of day 2. Just because of the way that the way the game looked at the coding, I guess, is that if you have to purchase a blueprint, excuse me, you have to purchase a research desk, not just having one in the restaurant. It was purchasing one. So it made it a bit kind of, not cheaty, but it made it very easy, I found. Or a lot easier than I think intended. Let's get a couple more in. One of my favorite cards for playing solo is instant ordering, because even though you lose that phase of them sitting down, you don't have to you don't have to wait for that phase. Instant ordering is good if you have dishes that require more than one ingredient. Like hamburgers is just hamburgers right now. Alright, let's get another one made. Call somebody. And as long as someone's on their way, and you can put the finished food on the table, and they'll still take it. That's not an issue. And again, if you're stuck, if you pick up and put down, it'll cause the next person to come in. It's not a bug. It's as intended in a sense. It might actually be the last one, so I'm not sure or not. I should count 10. Nope, we have one more coming in. 2 more, actually. Okay, a double order. Good thing I washed those dishes then. Oop. Obviously, you can't do it that way, can you? Now, I know a lot of people are probably watching or have watched and say, why do you turn this backwards? You can't see the door opening. Because I like to slide. See how I'm holding up on the keyboard and sliding along here? If you'd have it the other way, you get stuck on it, and I don't want to get stuck. Alrighty, so we upgraded to a copy desk. Now, a copy desk is not terrible, but you're guaranteed to now get a blueprint desk because it goes copy, blueprint, discount, back to copy. It cycles in that manner. This is the only item in the game that you can continually research literally every single day, and it'll turn something different in the next cycle. Let's see what we get. This will determine whether we upgrade again or we buy. So combiners are nice once we start having automation for the buttons. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy this and just store it here. And I'll research this again to get a discount desk, or excuse me, to get a blueprint desk. Actually, I'm not going to buy the table because our groups went down to 8 now. Why, I don't know. Or our customers went down to 8. I don't know. It's still a bit finicky the way the numbers work. So I think we're going to leave it alone and let's keep on rolling. And the reason why I bought the combiner is just to have it for now. We can obviously afford it. It's not a problem. And we got ourselves our blueprint desk. Now is the time that if you want to start working on some sort of automation, it'd be now. And for burgers, automation is I mean, you never need to automate anything. But burgers is one of those dishes where it's quite easy to automate. At least the burger cooking part. If not everything, at least the burger cooking part. All right, I have a couple prepared. Let's call people in. And like I said, the safety hob cooks, or the hob cooks so slow that you could actually wash a dish in that amount of time without any problem. And because I have tons of burgers already set up here, I don't have to rush to get these made. Get another one on. Now remember, we do have 20% less patience, so we can't dilly around too much, which is why I was thinking of buying the other table. But you know what? I think we have been fine without it. So I'm not gonna rush I'm not gonna rush myself to get one. But again, customers can ramp up pretty quickly, so you always have to keep that in mind. Again, you don't have to use the phone, like at all. It gives you a nice little bonus, but I find it actually gives you more of a bonus as the days go on, because the way it works is you get 3 base coins per ring. I don't really like either one of these. I guess we'll go affordable. As I was saying, so the way that the player count, or excuse me, the booking desk works is you get 3 coins as a base per ring, plus 1 coin for every 2 days. So because we completed day 2 and day 4, that gave us an extra 2 coins, which is why we have an even number of 20. Because I rung it 4 times to get 5 each. So no cards today, but it is Deco Day, which is I mean, Deco Day is fine. I'm not a big fan of it. Is it worth buying this? Not really. I can't really turn it back now, can I? I guess we'll run with that. Or do I want this in here? I always like the red carpeting. I like the slate. We'll go with this instead. These are kind of, it doesn't matter because, well, we're going to buy this right now. This is going to be the key to our run as we keep going. So the phone I'll put here. Actually, you know what? I'll just swap the phone for the research desk, because today we're not going to be researching anything. Now, the question is it worth buying? These are 40, 40, 30, 40, 40, 30. So I could buy 2 of them. I just don't know how necessary it is, because the way affordable works is the first tier of it is only the tier that you want. It decreases the eating and thinking time. So what that means is when they sit down, it takes them less time to order. So it's actually not a bad one to have. But I wouldn't go the other tiers. So the question is now is, well, we're not actually, so let's find things, what are worth 30? So we can do 2 30s. We could buy a stock picture, which we'll put above the hob, I guess. We can do a neon sign, which is 40. The dirty floor sign is 30 as well. And then what we'll do is we'll just stick this out here somewhere as kind of irrelevant where it goes. And the gumball machine is also 30. So what we'll do is we'll save the gumball machine. So next round we'll obviously have enough coins. And then we'll be able to buy the gumball machine. And that's probably going to be the only tier that we get out of the affordable one. Is I don't personally find any benefit to going any higher than that. And that's myself. Now, what we're looking for on the blueprint desk, for me, is going to be At this stage, it's going to be conveyor belts. Because like I said, we already have the combiner from before, which is obviously a good thing. We don't need more combiners because we're not really combining anything else. And the thing is with this is I don't want to... Plates, I should get around to buying better plates too. Is the issue, or not the issue, but is you don't want to use the phone if you're still waiting for something to pop up on here that you want. Because if you do, what happens is it cycles through that much quicker. Like, what you get isn't as... Like, you'll get... Say, instead of getting 5 items, you get 4 items because you rang too fast. Because they have a set... Somewhat of a set / random timer per day how many things come through. And if you rush that, you lose out on some of them. So, unless you have to... I would suggest not ringing. It's kind of counterintuitive in a sense because of the whole thing with getting the money. But so far we've gotten nothing that I really want. We've gotten breadsticks and napkins and junk like that. I'm looking for floor protectors. Wouldn't be bad. They wouldn't be bad at all. But I don't think we want a floor protector because floor protectors now cost a lot more coins. They used to cost 5 coins. So that was always a no-brainer for something to take. Come on. But now, not so much, in my opinion. Alright, let's get these washed. I'd like to not have to buy another table if I can help it. It just depends on where we're at, because I really don't... In these diner maps, I don't like taking sides because of the space limitations. And again, you may say, well, why don't you just play on a larger map? And the answer is, of course you could. I just like doing these little maps. It's just... I've started solo playing these maps way back when, and I've just kind of became my thing. I'm the kind of solo guy, or the what is it called? We ended up getting a mop, so that's not good. The diner guy. So I just prefer it. And also because the screen is a lot bigger, so I can see things a lot easier. So here we end up getting a mop. So that was basically a waste of a blueprint. But there was nothing on here that I saw that we would have liked anyway. Alrighty, day 6. So, here we go. Now, the issues with both of these cards is relaxed atmosphere, increased messes. Now, if I can start bumping back the tables, this won't really have much effect. But again, there's no custom reduction. Cheeseburgers, it's only again 15%. So it'll basically drop it down about what, 2.25 customers. So about say 2 to 3 customers. Which to me is not worth the added extra effort for cheeseburgers. Because you have to find a place to chop the cheese, and I always have to chop it, and I don't find the benefit here. But messes can be bad as well, depending on what type of tables you get. Or if you end up getting the splash zone card where messes are in a larger area, it can really slow you down. One of my big things is messes, is you got to stay on top of dishes and top of messes, or it could end your run. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to let you guys decide what you, well, not decide, let you guys choose what you think I'm going to choose. Am I going to choose relaxed, or am I going to choose cheeseburgers? Now, you may say, well, how do you unselect it? So if you hit left and you hit left again, it unselects your selection. Or if you hit this, you go back and forth. But as long as you hit the same direction twice, it actually resets it back to nothing, or back to 0, I guess. So that's a good way if you made a mistake of hitting it one direction, hit the same direction again, and it'll cancel out the selection that you had. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching me on part 1. We're going to call this the Burger Prince, because that's the name that all maps give you a random name now, as somewhat as a pun based on the dish you take. So we took hamburgers, so it's Burger Prince. So this is going to be called the Burger Prince run. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and catch me in part 2 where I either choose relaxed or I choose cheeseburgers. Take care, guys.